Jumia stock review. Okay, guys, so we're going to look into what is considered the Amazon of Africa and Jumia Technologies, ticker symbol JMIA. And this stock is up big this year. But the interesting thing about Jumia is that it is not just an e-commerce company, it is also a digital payment and food delivery company as well. And I think this stock has ridiculous upside in the future. So just to give you guys kind of a quick benchmark, Alibaba, that's basically considered the Amazon of China. That company's trading at a market cap of 700 billion. That's ticker symbol BABA. And of course, Amazon, we know, is the king of e-commerce in North America, and that's trading at a market cap of 1.6 trillion. But Jumia, which is considered the Amazon of Africa, is trading at a market cap of just $3 billion. And the company recently IPO'd in 2019 at just $14 a share, guys. So why am I so interested in this company? Well, e-commerce is one of the growth trends that we're going to continue to see throughout the world. And I think the pandemic has just kind of sped up that transition where, a lot of millennials and things like that, as baby boomers retire and millennials start entering their their best income generating years. A lot of millennials, for you guys that are watching the channel, I'm 34 years old and I've been buying stuff online for, since I was a teenager. So I would expect these trends to continue in the continent of Africa, where there's a very much younger population overall. And a lot of this younger population has smartphones in their hand and they're able to buy things online. So let's take a look at these e-commerce trends in Africa to begin with. So I'm on Statista.com, and as you can see here, take a look at the e-commerce market in Africa. It says revenue is expected to grow an annual compounded annual growth rate of 15.5%, looking at a projected market volume of over $40 billion in 2025. So right now it's projected at around just under 20 billion. So that's basically double. Basically the projections are double of what they are right now. And as you can see here, it's estimating that the average revenue per user is expected to be $70. So obviously, guys, I think these numbers are way too conservative. I expect Africa is going to, as a continent, is going to catch up with much of the global economy throughout this decade. And by owning Jumia stock, you're getting a piece of that pie. So now let's take a look at kind of what exactly Jumia is and what it represents. So guys, we're going to head over to Jumia's Nigeria site. So actually Jumia is a little bit different than companies like Amazon. They don't operate in every African country, guys. There are over 50 countries in Africa, and a lot of them are kind of higher risk places. For instance, places like Cameroon, which is kind of dealing with civil war conflicts and things like that. And Jumia is also pulled out of some other countries like Tanzania. But their biggest markets, as you can see here, they do the majority of their business in Algeria, Egypt, Ghana, Ivory Coast, Kenya, Morocco, Senegal, Tunisia, Uganda, South Africa, and Zanado. So those are basically the countries that they're focusing on, and those seem to be the highest margin, most profitable countries with the best GDPs and the most people with basically disposable income. So as we take a look here, it's basically similar to Amazon, guys, but I'm going to tell you why this company has a lot more potential than Amazon. Not more than it. But I'm also going to tell you why this company is just more than an e-commerce company. But first, let's take a look at the website. So as you can see here, basically it's easy place to buy things online. And the interesting thing about Jumia is that it's one of the reasons why it's the largest e-commerce player in Africa, bigger than Amazon and Alibaba, is because it really caters to the African consumer. So what I mean by that is that first of all, as you can see at the website, the targeting is on point, and they have different sites depending on the country. So what I'm saying is this is the Nigerian site, and as you can see here, most of the prices are in Naira and stuff like that. And if you were to switch to a different site like Senegal or something like that, you will see that the prices will change based on the currency. And another thing that's really nice about Jumia is that they accept cash on delivery. So this is kind of, new to a lot of people that live in places like North America, but in places like Africa and Asia as well, a lot of people are not used to having digital transactions. They don't have credit cards, they don't have apps like PayPal. So having cash on delivery is really, I think, is really helped Jumia kind of soar to the top. And anytime you're outperforming Amazon and Alibaba in Africa, this is kind of similar to how Roku somehow is outperforming Amazon Amazon's Fire Stick. So anytime a company, much smaller company, is outperforming a much larger, more established company, you know that they're doing something special to their target market. And of course, they accept Visa and things like that. But they also have Jumia Pay, which I'm going to talk about a little bit later. And I think that is a really, really amazing kind of offering that Jumia has. So guys, like I said, you can just check out the website. This one is jumia.com.ng. So now let's head over to those quarterly reports to give you guys some more insight on what's going on in this company. So here we are at the Q3 2020 reports result. And as you can see here, Jumia is obviously a lot smaller than companies like Alibaba and Amazon, but there is a lot of room to run here. So what we're looking at here is we're basically looking at total revenue and total gross marketplace value and payment value. So as you can see over the recent quarter, gross profit has increased, operating losses have decreased, and total payment volume is up 50%. So as you can see here, one of the reasons why global marketplace value was actually down is that the business is actually restructuring. So traditionally, Jumia was kind of a first party seller, meaning that they would buy the products and then resell them on their platform. But one of the most important things that they've done this year is they transition from first party selling to third party selling. So third party selling means you bring on other sellers into your marketplace, and then buyers come on, and then Jumia earns a percentage of that sale. And that's much more scalable because now you're allowing the third party sellers to deal with inventory and things like that. And all you have to worry about is things like fulfillment and making sure that you're accepting payments and stuff like that. So now let's look at a complete breakdown of what's going on here. We can take a look at some of these numbers because it's really interesting company that I think is grossly undervalued. So first of all, let's look at some key numbers. So what I'm looking at, obviously, we saw gross marketplace volume go down, which isn't good. But what I'm really looking at is annual active consumers. And why I'm looking at that number is simply because companies like Jumia, Amazon, Alibaba, Etsy, eBay, they have what it's called a flywheel effect. So a flywheel effect means as more people come onto the platform, it gets better. So for every person that buys from Jumia, that makes it better. Then more sellers come on. So more sellers come on to sell more things, then that attracts more buyers, they spend more money, and then more sellers come on, and it's just like this wheel that keeps spinning, spinning, and spinning. So although in the short term, numbers are down a little bit, I think long term, as long as more active customers are coming onto the platform, we're going to see some long-term gains. So now guys, what I also want to talk about is I want to talk about what I talked about earlier, which is Jumia Pay. So this is why Jumia is more like a mix of Amazon and PayPal put together. So as you can see here, in Africa, there really wasn't kind of a reliable way to pay for transactions. So obviously there's PayPal and things like that, but the consumer in Africa is a little bit different. And Jumia has made it really easy by basically offering a way to pay for things within their platform. And this is what I think will add a lot of value to the company long term. So as you can see here, it says total payment volume was up 50%, guys, and total transactions went from 2.1 million to 2.3 million in the recent quarter. So guys, that is just phenomenal. And the fact that this is Jumia Pay is only really in 8 countries. So just 8 countries out of the 50 plus in Africa. So that means I think eventually a lot of these other countries with the GDPs aren't as good. I think they'll eventually catch up. Could you imagine what Jumia is capable of if they are basically, let's say 10 years from now, they're active in maybe like 30 or 40 of the countries in Africa and just a $3 billion market cap? I just think there's just so much, potential to basically move forward. So now let's take a look at kind of the revenue numbers, and we can kind of give you guys a valuation. So as you can see here, total revenue, now these numbers are obviously in euros, but it's similar to the dollar. So as you can see here, total revenue was 33 million. So if we extrapolate that number over 4 months, that's giving us like a revenue of around like 130 million dollars. So that would put this company at around a $3 billion market cap. That would put it at around maybe like 20 to 30 times for a price to sales ratio of like 20 to 30. So obviously you're paying a little bit more for this company, but there was a point where Amazon was trading at a ridiculous price to sales ratio. It was trading at a ridiculous price to earnings ratio, and if you kept buying Amazon because of that flywheel effect, you made a lot of money. So guys, this is definitely a longer term play. It's definitely going to take some time for the e-commerce in Africa to catch up, but it is definitely catching up, and the pandemic has only accelerated those trends. So as you can see here, let's take a look at some technical analysis and give you guys kind of some more information on what's going on in terms of the stock price itself. And before I do that, I want to talk a little bit about the cash position, just in case you're wondering if this company will have to do too many offerings and things to raise cash. At the end of September 30th, they had over 147 million euros in cash. Now I want to actually talk about that offering. So one of the interesting things is that the stock, it ran up so much, they actually did an offering at $30, and that's a good sign, guys. So obviously there is a dilutive effect, but it's better for, I think, to offer shares than it is to kind of raise money and things like that. And offerings provide a stable support level for a stock. So you're looking at basically an offering around $30. That really means that there's a lot of strong buyers support at that level. So now let's take a look at this long-term stock, explain exactly what I'm talking about. So as you can see here, we start off, Jumia is up over 481% this year, and it's bounced really nicely kind of off those pandemic lows. It was just trading at around $2, believe it or not, back in March. But the interesting thing is that this is just the filling of the right hand side of the cup. So if we kind of take a step back and look at this 5-year chart, we can see here that Jumia had actually ran up back in April of 2019, and then Andrew Left of Citron Research, he published a report talking about scandals and fraud within the company, and that really caused the share price to plummet. So what we're looking at here, guys, is we're looking at the same chart pattern that I saw on stocks like NIO. It's the same chart pattern that I saw on a stock like Uber, and that's where we have a massive run up. So we have a massive run up in buyer interest, and then we have a fear-based sell-off, and then now we have the company has kind of transitioned. So between now and back in April, the company is substantially different, right? E-commerce has grown a lot more. A lot of those negative signs and negative risks that Citron Research reported, the company has fixed a lot of them. And more importantly, and what's the most important thing, is that the number of active buyers in the platform has skyrocketed and the global payments has skyrocketed. So obviously you would have been better off buying Jumia down here at $2 when no one wanted it. But the good thing is it's not too late to buy the stock. It's just a $3 billion market cap. To give you guys kind of a reference, Africa as a continent has over 1.3 billion people. So if we were to take Africa itself and basically represent it as a country, it would be top 3 largest countries in the world. So the growth for Jumia is absolutely massive, and it's just grossly undervalued at around a $3 billion market cap, guys. So to wrap things up on this stock, I think this stock is a ridiculously strong buy. Jumia, I've been talking a lot about ChargePoint on this channel, but it might end up that Jumia ends up being one of my top positions between Uber and ChargePoint. I'm really thinking, like, for people that missed the run up on Amazon and you missed the run up on Alibaba, what about Africa? Okay, so I think Jumia will become a $500 billion company within the next 5 years or so. So that would put this stock at a potential market cap of over $6,000, assuming there aren't any splits or anything like that. So I think this stock has a lot of upside. By the time if Jumia hits $6,000 a share, we know Amazon will have grown a lot more, and we know Alibaba will grow a lot more. So basically Amazon is king, and then second place would definitely be Alibaba, and I think Jumia will nicely fill in as the third runner in this race. So what we're betting on is we're betting on global e-commerce trends to increase, and we're betting on a flywheel effect where more buyers come onto the platform, more sellers come on the platform, and then it just more and more interest grows as more and more people in Africa get comfortable with buying things online and using online payments and food delivery as well. Jumia also delivers food. So that's it to wrap this video up, guys. I hope you enjoyed this content. So I still have a $6,000 future price target for Jumia stock. In the short run, we might see a little bit of a sell-off or things like that, but seeing as that the stock is basically trading near its all-time high, I still think there's a lot of room to run, because all Jumia has to do is kind of break out past the $41 level, and it could be trading to $50 and $60. So for me, this is definitely a long-term hold and a stock that you probably want to add on to. Once again, a $3 billion market cap. Crazy how much money this company could make in the future. So that's it until next time, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please smash the like button, subscribe, hit the red subscribe button for more videos, and be sure to grab my daily stock watch newsletter and join my private Discord chat. You can get those links in the comments. And also, guys, to give you guys a heads up, Bitcoin is trading very high right now. If you guys want free $10 in Bitcoin, all you have to do is deposit $100 into Coinbase. You can also get your 4 free stocks from Webull. That promotion is ending pretty soon, ending on December 31st. So that's it until next time, guys. Take care.